Hello everybody and welcome to today's class, and thank you for making the time to give yourself this around 30 minutes of a little bit of self-care and self-love. You can start off with the breathing and sitting or standing, and you can sit as always however is comfortable for your hips and your legs. So take this breath in and then breathe out. Taking a breath in, breathing away all that tension of today, breathing in, and then breathing out. So making sure you've got equipment that you're happy with you. You've got enough head pads or pillows. We've also got the ball and we've got the band as well. We're going to start off opening up our body, but we're going to do this inside lying. Lovely stretches for our shoulders and our chest that also incorporates some breath work. As always, at any point that you need to refresh any of the exercises, you've got the introductory course included. Follow the breathing as you feel comfortable, engaging your pelvic floor, your kind of deep core muscles as you feel able as well. So popping yourself onto your side, always knowing that if your hips are tender, you can use extra little pads underneath your hips. And making sure that your head and your neck are supported. In this position, we're going to focus on having lovely space over the kind of the bottom of your ear to the tip of your shoulder, as if the wind is kissing your neck. We're going to stack our knees on top of each other, and we're going to just rock the pelvis forwards and back, coming into that neutral spine. You can imagine that we've got a little marble underneath our waist, one arm on top of the other. We're going to come into some arm openings. Taking that breath in, core is gently engaged. And as we breathe out, we're going to open up with our arm. We're going to look at our arm with our head and neck, and we're going to come back down to center. I want you to imagine that you've got a brick wall behind you. So it really is just an arm opening, as the exercise is called, rather than a spine twist. Your arm is soft and long, breathing out as we move away, breathing in as we come back. Gently engaging that pelvic floor. Maybe putting on some gentle music for yourself as you do this. A yoga or Pilates or Zen playlist. We're going to do 3 more. 2. Really opening up that chest. It probably gets really tight. Sending a little bit of love to your neck. We're going to rest our arms back on top of each other. And we're going to come into bow and arrow. Another favourite exercise of mine. Making sure we're still centered. Breathing in, core is gently engaged as we slide this hand back as if we're pulling on a bow. We're breathing in and we're lengthening. So our fingers are really soft as we do this. I'm noticing my arm, my elbow just graze my body. My shoulder blade draws back to stretch my chest. And I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to do 3 more. Breathing out. We're going to do 2 more. And we're going to do 1 more. Breathing out. Breathing in. Now coming up into this position, we're going to come into kneeling. If kneeling isn't comfortable, then please come into sitting. We're going to take our hands, we're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, we're going to push away. Maybe you feel that you sit back a little bit into your heels as you do this. We're going to breathe in and out, in and out. We're going to draw our hands back behind us. You're going to clasp your hands, you're going to just pull away. So just as much as you feel comfortable, again, opening that chest long through the head and neck. Breathing in and breathing out. And then relax. Get your head blocks. Bring them to your other side. Holding the lie down. Taking a moment to make sure that you're adjusted and that you're comfortable. One arm on top of the other. Pelvis stacked. We're going to breathe in, engage that core as we're breathing out, coming into arm open. We're going to breathe in. If there's any soreness, just be mindful of maybe keeping your head facing forwards. Dropping into that breath, seeing if you can really feel what's going on through your arm, the weight of your body. You may notice that I close my eyes sometimes, and that really helps me really feel what's happening. Breathing in. Breathing out. Checking in with those inner core muscles if you can. 2 more to go. Enjoying this time. You know that you're looking after yourself, that we're really helping that upper back right now become a little bit more flexible, releasing all the tension. Into our bow and arrow, breathing in, cores engage as we breathe out. Noticing if one shoulder feels a little bit looser or tighter. Really feeling the wind kiss the nape of your neck. Just imagine that sensation that the air is touching the nape of your neck. So as you do this, you're being aware of any tension through the upper body. 2 more to go, breathing out, breathing in, and just 1 more. Breathing out, and then breathing in. See how nice that feels. We're now going to come onto hands and knees. So we build up our upper body, and again, finding some space on the mat. Feet and knees are hip width apart. We're going to really think about spreading our fingers so we've not got too much weight in the wrists, slight softness through the elbows. And this exercise is going to challenge our core control, our spine, our head and our posture, and also start to wake up those glutes. So we're going to do some leg lengthening. So what I want you to do before you start is maybe have a little rock side to side on the mat. And then come into stillness. And as we're going through this exercise, I want you to be aware of how much you rock. And as your core control increases, you're going to notice that you get stiller and stiller and stiller. So just let's look at our pelvis to find our center. So just rocking that pelvis up and down. Finding that mid position. Our head and our neck, we're just watching that our chin hasn't fallen and our head isn't looking up too much. So we've got that chin gently tucked in, long through the head and neck. We're going to think about our legs. So we're going to breathe in, engaging that core. I'm going to lengthen my leg away, sliding it on the mat as straight as you feel comfortable to go. And we're just going to start off by just sliding it back, pausing and being aware as you change legs about how still you can be. Lengthening away, sliding back. And really focus on that changeover. Now, I know that the smoother I am as I switch sides, the more I can feel my core activating. Feeling some effort through your upper body, and at any point that you need to stretch your wrist, just stop, sit back on your heels. We're going to breathe out, breathing in, really focusing on stillness, breathing out, breathing in, one more round, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. And now have a stretch however you want. You may feel like you want to just wiggle the wrists. Just having a little bit of a look. So from here, we're going to progress into a lift. Now, if any of you find that uncomfortable, feel that you're really unsteady, can you continue just to lengthen your leg? Try not to do any more than that. So, again, finding that lovely center position, active through the whole hand. Going to breathe in, we're going to gently engage that core muscle, we're going to lengthen the leg, and I want you to visualize that you're lifting your leg up from your bottom, and you're only going as high as you can before you tip or twist. Then come back down. We're going to change side. Notice if one leg feels heavy, lengthen. Imagine there's a piece of string pulling that leg away, and then your bottom muscle is going to lift that leg up. Good. And then we're going to come back down. Changing with control. Lengthen the leg away. Piece of string on the end of the toe, keeping the leg long. And then we're going to lift from the bottom, trying to keep our back still. Some of you may know that your back's trying to help. So only lift as high as you can control. For example, some of you may lengthen, and then you may only lift the smallest amount, but you know by lifting a really small amount, your back is really still and you're not rocking, and then that would be brilliant. Breathing out, hovering the leg from the bottom, breathing in, going very nicely, breathing out. Let's do one more. Lengthening, lift from the bottom, come back down, and then have a stretch. Just releasing the hands a little bit, giving them a bit of a wiggle, really freeing them up. Coming onto your back now. And in this position, taking a moment to find our center. So rocking forwards and back, some pelvic tilts, finding that halfway position as if we've got that silk scarf. Our feet and knees are hip width apart. I've rocked my head side to side. I'm noticing that it's long on the mat. Collarbones are open, ribs are heavy. From here, let's start with some arm circles. We're going to breathe in to engage some overhead reach. We're going to breathe out. We're going to breathe in, just circling back down and round. We're going to breathe out. We're going to breathe in. Keeping our ribs nice and heavy, being aware of our center. Breathing in, breathing out. Enjoying that movement. And then from here, we're going to add the legs. So we're going to breathe out, lengthen the leg away, breathing in to come back. We're going to do the same leg twice. We're going to lengthen the leg away, Remembering that when we lengthen, we may start to notice that we arch. We're going to pause, be aware of our changeover. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Changing legs. Keeping our control. 2 on each leg. Being aware as you change sides. Try not to rock. 1 more on that side. And then come into stillness. From here, let's go into a slightly higher level of that exercise. We're going to find our center. We're going to take a breath in to engage. We're going to slide the heel back. We're going to fold up to single tabletop. We're going to lengthen away as if we're turning a light switch off the wall. We're going to fold back. And we're going to lower with control. We're going to breathe in, engage our center, pick the heel up, slide the foot into tabletop as we fold up. Just breathe into pause, breathe out, lengthen away, breathe in, come back. Can you see how this exercise is made up of all these stages? So breathing in, engaging, breathing out, folding up into this single tabletop where we pause. Then we breathe out as we lengthen, only lengthening as far as you can control, making sure that your back is centered. Then you fold back, then we lower down. It's really important that we go through all of these movements. And so some of you may only lengthen the tiniest amount, and that's perfect, as long as you're listening to your control. Keep practicing that leg, just engaging the core. The breathing gets more complicated, so just keep breathing, just keep breathing. Just focusing maybe on breathing out as we move away, breathing in as we come back to fold down. So working on that control. And lengthen. So we're going to add a variation with the ball, or you can do this without the ball. Breathe in to engage. As you breathe out, just hold the ball up. Breathe in, engage the core. As we breathe out, we're going to float one leg up. Breathe in to pause, breathe out, lengthen, breathe in, come back. Arms stay still, leg lowers. Breathing out, we just float the leg up, core is engaged. Breathe into pause. Breathe out, breathe in, come back down. Breathing out, change legs, breathe into pause. Change. Now, as you do this, just see if you can soften the head and neck if there's any tension. If you feel that this is very confusing, please go back to the previous exercise. Now, in this position, we have to be really aware of our control. So maybe you're not fully going back, but you know that you're stopping before your ribs lift and you lose that center position. Breathing out to fold up, breathing in to hold. Maybe squeeze the ball if you want for a little bit more work. Gently lengthen, come back as if you've got 2 points moving away from the body. How still can you be? I'm going to do one more. We're going to float down, fold our arm down, give everything a little bit of a shake, side to side as you need. So from here, we're going to go into hip twist. We're going to, again, just work up through a few different levels just to start showing you some variations and for you to have a little bit more of a challenge, and you stop wherever you need. So finding that center point, as always, giving your spine a bit of a check. We're going to breathe in to engage. We're going to breathe out. We're going to float on the out to the side. We're going to breathe in. We're going to come back, working on that control. Breathing out, making this as smooth as you feel comfortable. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And sometimes our mind is saying, oh, this is really easy. I don't feel like I'm doing very much, but I promise you, you are. This is one of my favourite exercises at this level because I know how good it is for everybody. Breathing out. Breathing in. Now, if you feel comfortable and you know that you're not wobbling, you can follow up into the next level. So again, coming into single tabletop. So we've got that funny breath work. So we breathe in, we engage our core, we breathe out and we fold up. Now we're going to float this leg out to the side. We're going to float back and then we're going to come down. Do that again. So we're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to fold up. We're going to breathe in. We've got that little pause. As we breathe out, we float out only as far as we can control. We breathe in and we float back and we lower. So again, breathing out, folding up. We float the leg out. What we're not doing is we're not twisting to look at our ankle. So our ankle stays hidden behind our knee. As we float out, we float back, we lower down. Breathing out, core engaged, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, lowering down. And as you can see, my hands are on my pelvis. Call them the listening hands because that's going to help me feel. Hands here are okay as well. You just have to have a lot of awareness about what's going on. I tend to find most people are better off just having a feel of their hips as they move. Breathing out, this should be pain-free and comfortable. You may notice that you suddenly become a lot more wobbly. It's a great word for Pilates. So we're trying not to wobble. Let's do one more. And down, last side. And then come back down. And if you need to, have a stretch. From here, you're going to grab your band. Again, if you don't have a band, you just do it without. Just pop the band kind of over your thighs. As I've said before, it's very rare that you're going to get the band flat, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to come into some shoulder bridges. So when you've got the band around your knees, it's going to want to bring your knees to kind of squish together. So just make sure your feet and knees are hip width apart. Start with your lightest level band. Arms can be by your side. We're going to take a breath in. Core is gently engaged. Your pelvic floor is gently lifted as we roll up into bridge. So just rolling up bone by bone, knowing that this is a really great exercise to open up our spine with that rolling up and down. Also starts to work our glute muscles, our bottom muscles, rolling down bone by bone. And again, we're going to breathe in, core is engaged. As we're breathing out, we're just rolling up. Breathing in to hold, and maybe you want to allow your arms to come back if it's comfortable. It's a bit more of a stretch. And then as we breathe, we're going to come back down and maybe allow your arms to come down. So again, next breath out, you're going to roll up. Allow your arms to come up. This is a choice. You just can choose to do whatever is comfortable. And then breathing into hold and breathing out when we come down. We're going to do one more. So just rolling up. And this is when you're going to breathe in and then you're going to breathe out. You're going to come down. Now, if that feels perfect for you today, then I would like you just to keep repeating that while I show a different variation. So we're going to come back up into bridge. So we're going to breathe in, engage that core, breathe out, rolling up, come up into bridge. Remembering for some of you, if you want a bit more activation, just think about pushing into your heels a bit more. We want to be soft through the hips. Our back is soft. We're trying not to push up. Now we've got the bands around our knees. And we're going to do a very slight movement. So we're going to think about allowing our leg, just one leg, to do a tiny movement out into the bands. And then we're going to allow it to come back. We're going to do a tiny movement on the other side out. We're going to allow it to come back. We're going to do 3 of these, then we're going to rest. Tiny movement out. And you may be aware as it floats out, you really want to rock. So just see how still you can be. You may find that you only go a millimetre out to the side. That is all the control that you have. You just take the tiniest bit of tension and you come back. You may find that you can go a bit further and then we're going to lower back down. There is nothing wrong with the level that's right for you because it's right for you. So once again, coming up into bridge. So core is engaged, we're breathing out, we're rolling up. We're going to do 3 rounds. So we're going to breathe out, tiny movement out, only as far as you can control. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. I often talk about imagining candles under the bottom. So we're trying not to drop our bottom as we do this. We've got one more. And one more round. Just working into those glutes. And then they're going to lower down bone by bone. And then our last round. So just gently breathing in, engaging that core, rolling up. And we're going to float one knee out to the side. Breathing in. Breathing out, other side, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, and in, and one more, breathing out, and in, last one, resting at any point that you need, lowering down bone by bone, really hugging your knees to your chest. Releasing that bottom. So from here, just taking the band off, we're going to come into some stretches. So to start off with, just lying nice and long, stretching arms and legs away from each other, breathing into your stomach, feeling the ribs really stretch with that breath. And then taking the stretch out like a star to open up the hips. We're going to circle our arms down and around. We're going to gently bring one foot up and the other foot up. And we're going to stretch our hamstrings today. So if you struggle to reach your leg, you can use your band to wrap around the back of your leg, or you can use a like a towel. I'll show you how to do that in a sec. So I'm just going to pop my band there. So you're going to just float one leg up. We're going to hold behind the back of the leg. And then you're going to just gently lengthen your leg to the ceiling. If you struggle to hold it, you can get your band and you can just use it just to support you as you lengthen the leg. Now, have a look at my leg. My leg is not perfectly straight. I'm definitely average flexibility. There's nothing wrong with that. So some of you may be lower, some of you may be more flexible than me, and that's absolutely fine. We're just going to hold that leg. I'm actually going to let go of the band because I prefer holding my leg with my hands. We're going to breathe in and out. The stretch at the back of your leg should be gentle. Really, really gentle. If it's too intense, just lower that leg down a little bit more. And we're going to change sides, always noticing maybe that one side is a bit stronger, one side is a bit more supple. And that is the same for all of us. Sometimes it's just how we're born. Sometimes it's because we've had injuries. So breathing in and out, in and out. And our flexibility can improve, but it's pretty much going to improve within our natural limits. But it will become the most that we have the potential to be. And down. Let's stretch out our glutes. So we're going to cross an ankle over our knee, and remembering that we can release it off by lowering the leg, or we can just pick it up and just hold wherever is comfortable. Just breathing in and out. Some people hold behind the other leg if they want, whatever is comfortable for you. Gently stretching the bottom, nothing too intense. Soft and stretch. So 0 is no stretch, and 10 out of 10 is, we don't want this, but you'd be screaming. Stretch is at a 3 or a 4, it's super comfortable. And change sides, always just going into each stretch on each leg really gently so you know how your body feels before you suddenly pull it into a movement. Focusing on that breathing. And then relaxing down. Finishing off with some spine twists. So if you're like me, you need to just move your equipment out the way, just do. Feet and knees together. Take that nice breath in, and as we breathe out, gently twisting that spine. Enjoy that stretch. We're going to hold it for 5 breaths. Feeling that breath go into the ribs. Slightly longer breaths than you think, just to help your system relax. Next breath in, we're going to breathe back to center, then we're going to breathe out as we twist. Really maybe soften your eyes for these breaths in and out. Feeling your shoulders open up towards the ceiling. Stretching wherever it needs. Feeling those ribs expand as you breathe. And then carefully come back to center. Rolling onto your side. Just gently pushing up. Coming into sitting, shrugging those shoulders. Taking a breath in. Breathing out. Growing tall as you do this. And then last one. So this class weaved a few of the other classes together, started giving a little bit more of a challenge to our abdominals, making use of a bit more of equipment and also bringing in our glutes and some stretches. Keep practicing it as you want and try out all the different variations within the class when you're ready.